GNT Show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. These are the voyages of the GNT Show. Our continuing mission to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to Boliga, where no show has gone before. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the GNT Show, episode 221. I'm Terry Lynn.
Good morning, Jolan True. How you doing?
I think you're chilly.
There she is, to my left, your right, wearing a parka, like with her Han Solo parka. It's Terry Lynn.
Good morning, and you're not too far off. I am wearing my
Tom?
No, what's that 8-bit computer game we used to play? Asteroids or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Galaga.
Yes.
It's like the winter. I got my Loot box last month, and I had a wonderful 8-bit T-shirt, and it's the winter Galaga. So there's like little snowflakes, and
Loot Crate had a great X-Files T-shirt this month.
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
there he is to my right, your left, still inside his tauntaun that he cut open. It's Ceridium.
Kapla! And these smell worse on the inside.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Oh, man.
And there she is wearing her mini skirt with her high heels and her halter top. Like the disco queen she is, it's Jesfa.
Is she in California?
No, she's from Long Island. So
Tropical Boston. So, holy litigation, Batman. And good morning.
Good morning. She jumped to it even before I did.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Someone asked me to say that. So I've fulfilled my obligation, and that'll be $20. Thank you.
Yeah. No.
Wow, I don't know if that's more Jewish or lawyerish.
Is that copyright infringement?
And before anybody says anything, Jesfa knows that I love and adore her and who I grew up with. I'm not insulting Jews.
He was just giving her a little shit. He loves her.
I hate women, obviously. Otherwise.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, the Tauntaun sleeping bag. That's a riot. I love that. Thank you, Matthew Anderson.
I surely hope it smells better.
Wow.
Made from real tauntaun.
I'm sure it does. Oh, look, it's got the inside, the actual lining of the thing is intestines. You see the lining?
That's nice.
It has intestine print. How funny. Oh, okay. Sorry. Everything in the chat room this morning is funny. Oh, good morning.
Yeah,
Good morning, you guys. What's up?
Terry,
Good morning.
By the way, Terry, I put the picture in the chat room. I didn't mean the Wonder Woman one to show Alan. I meant this one.
Oh, are you putting something into the chat room?
Yeah.
Which one?
Harley one?
The Harley Quinn?
Yes, because...
Oh, well, is he in the chat room yet? No, he's not.
Because this...
yes, he is. There he is.
Okay, I don't want to be misogynistic, but that may be the most perfect body part I've ever seen.
It's Harley Quinn and her magical tush.
Oh, my
there
God.
There goes Kajiro Vance. The Dash likes. We were just discussing this week how we tend to, speak in Disney. And we were having a conversation today or a couple of days ago where I totally went off on Mike about dishonoring us. And I said, you dishonor us. You dishonor your ancestors. You dishonor our cow. Sorry. So Tell me, what's been up? Mike, what did you do this week?
What did you do this week? Coffee Clutch.
Oh, what did I...
Poor thing.
I did stuff. I can't think of anything right now. Oh, new fun packs and whatnot for Lego Dimensions came out this week, so I've been jumping back into that and having quite a bit of fun.
You said you found a hidden level?
I found Flintstones.
Oh my gosh.
I found a Flintstones room. And oh my God, I had so much fun. So I've come across Jetsons already. I've come across Flintstones now. And there's a lot of little references to so many different things. I mean, I've seen Beetlejuice. I've seen, it's mind-boggling. I mean, it is quite literally a geek fest of a game. And
It
it's just so much fun. And so I've been doing that a lot this week. But the fun packs that came out were, let's see, there was a team pack of Joker and Harley Quinn, which Katie loves Harley Quinn now, so yay! She
Katie is brilliant.
yeah, she took the minifigure and claimed it as her own. Let's see. Then there's the Cyberman with the Dalek, which spurred the whole my nephews and my niece running around the house all weekend, screaming and yelling, "Exterminate!" and actually trying to do so to one another. And then there was a Sensei Wu minifigure, a fun pack that came out as well. So a lot of fun has been had this week.
Now, do you have to pay for any of these?
Yes.
Oh boy, Mike.
But they're fun.
So this is like an electronic Magic the Gathering.
Have you seen this thing, Nick? I got one for my nephew for Christmas. And
the starter pack is a game for your Xbox CD. It comes on disc only, and then it's got a toy pad and three figures. The only part that you actually need to play the game are the little pads. But you build the portal gate
with Legos.
With Legos, and then you could build the Batmobile, which is one of the parts of the starter pack. And then when you're playing the game, you can move the pieces around, almost kind of like virtual chess. And whatever you do on the gamepad happens on the screen. So if you pop in, say, Doctor Who onto the gamepad,
your player now becomes Doctor Who.
No, a portal opens up and Doctor Who jumps into the game.
Jumps through, right.
So whoever is on the pad is in the game. And that includes
there's a max of like 3. You can
7.
There's
a total of 7.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
I do like the fact that the Flintstones.
It's not a full level. It's just it's
but that's still a good read.
Secret
you know
room.
What I mean?
Yeah. It's a secret room. You have to go jump through a bunch of hoops to get there. But once you get there, it's the Flintstones, for crying out loud. It's awesome.
You get to meet the Flintstones. Did you know they're a very modern Stone Age family?
I did not.
Yeah, from the
town of Bedrock.
You know that they're a page.
Might be a page out of history.
Yeah. That's right.
Just maybe.
Pretty awesome.
With the family down the street.
Through the courtesy of Fred's 2
feet.
Ironically, the only way to get there is through Doctor Who's TARDIS. So
that's pretty good.
And the same thing for the Jetsons level. The only way to get there was by using Doctor Who's TARDIS. So
wow.
It's a lot of fun. It
is.
That
really
Judy Jetson was a whore.
That Judy Jetson.
What do you guys
do? And Elroy?
Elroy
was a serial.
Miss Janet, you've been a busy lady.
I've got class starting tomorrow, so I've been reading.
You have class every day, sweetie.
I might have blogged thank you. I'm reading the fascinating story of project management. Spoiler alert, you should manage your projects.
Wow.
And I might have done a little blogging, but, maybe.
Yeah, I think something came on our website or something.
Yeah, you may have done a little bit of writing. By the way, it was
1 or 2 things.
Wonderfully done. Very.
Thank you.
I think it was a very and just an excellent synopsis of the challenges with the case. And
yes, we'll get to that.
It's drawn some attention.
Really go. Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Okay, so as you can tell, the chat room put in a picture.
And
we all went, okay.
And I got
that
snowed
has to be photoshopped, man.
Another magical tush.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nick, what have you been doing this week?
Yeah, no shit.
I got snowed in.
Yeah, you have.
So
I've been tunneling? I've been working this entire time.
Yeah.
Now, see, that's too much.
I don't think it's real.
Yeah. First of all, it's in Germany. It's Bavaria. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think it's real.
I like how you guys all went, oh my.
Yeah, we all, oh.
But
You know,
I had 30 inches. Oh, that's what she said. 30 inches fell here where
that's
I live,
amazing.
and no plow has yet even thought of
Yeah.
coming near.
Yeah, it's going to be a while, I think. I know that we'd seen, like I was talking to you earlier, I think we heard some towns in Pennsylvania have already been warned that they're not going to see snowplows till at least Tuesday.
Yeah,
And it's a
big
storm.
But I have to give credit to the what's that? Oh, Jesus.
I don't know.
I'm so
It's
tired.
Sunday morning. We're so tired.
Terry knows that I've been working this entire since
Since
I got home.
You've been keeping the employees and people of Fort Detrick safe by keeping them informed. Good
oh
man.
my God, our Facebook page is like that's
In Fuego?
yeah.
Well,
Let me just tell you this. In the last week, well, I don't know because it's Sunday, it might roll over. No, in the last 7 days, 154 new likes on the page, which may
That's
not
awesome.
sound like a lot to you guys, but
no, that's
because
great.
yeah. And this happens every freaking winter.
Yeah.
You know, summer, dead. Somebody says snowflake, and
All hell breaks loose.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
well, 6 inches can really shut down where we live, and it's not because snow is all that rare. It has everything to do with the fact that we have that kind of mountainous terrain.
exactly. And that's what I was going to say here is that I don't think school will be in session for a while because this is like farmland and with
Right.
the mountains and everything. And it's going to take a while for the plows to be able to get out there.
I think
Like-
so. It's a hell of a storm, and I really do have
You'll
to
hear
say,
that ding in the background occasionally.
Yes.
That's my work email blowing up. So if I suddenly go, oh, it's because something happened at work and I need to, oh my God, is it really only 12 degrees? No, it's 26. Okay. And I have to answer for work. But that's okay because this is the part of public affairs that I love.
oh,
Working from
that's
home,
great.
in bed, naked, while I'm updating the Facebook
I was
page.
gonna say, naked in bed, talking about snow that
Right
you don't
on.
have to stand in. That's really cool. Oh my God! So it's I worked this week. Alan had Friday off.
Nice.
Aw.
And he has Monday and
Like-
yeah, I know. He has Monday and Tuesday off, so he's gonna
He's
be
a hardworking man.
I'll
He
tell you,
deserves a little
he really
time
is.
off.
The days
the
off
Don.
the days off he's going to be taking is going to be very needed for the household. He's going to be doing a lot of like I don't want to call it errands as much as it is, like we're going to have the plumber come out and do a boiler inspection. He's really going to do some. It's not like he's going to take the day off. He's going to be dealing with some household shit. So I loved him. It's nice. So yeah, we didn't. It was just a week of work and a week of our board meeting was this week, and so now that's over with, and we get a chance to breathe again. So yay,
Right on.
yay! Oh, so shall we talk a little bit about Star Trek?
Yes.
Real quick though,
Huh?
before
Yeah.
we do that.
Yeah.
Terry, did you happen to see DC's Legends of Tomorrow?
I haven't seen any TV this week, and as an Agent Carter fan,
Oh yeah.
that tells you how sad I am because I haven't seen it yet either. So
I've
it
seen
launched-
both, and then
It
very
launched
good.
CW to its biggest. Mike, was it the biggest ratings period they've ever had?
Well, I wouldn't know about the ratings, but they were definitely fun episodes, both of them.
Yeah,
Actually, all of them. I like them all. It's like
Yeah, because
every
Flash
day.
and Arrow back, and
Well, I mean, it starts with what, Supergirl on Monday,
oh god, yes, Supergirl.
and then it just keeps going. I mean, it's Flash, Arrow. It's
ooh,
Whoa.
I mean, there's just so much.
Supergirl melts my snow.
And now Legends of Tomorrow. So yeah, there's just, it's like,
And X
Superman-
Files comes tonight. Don't forget.
oh yes.
what does X-Files? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I got the T-shirt from the loot box crate this month, and I kind of went, "Oh, that's
Such
really
a great
cute." But I was never, I never really have been an X-Files person, so the T-shirt's going to go to a friend.
I subscribed to
So-
Nerd Block, and I got a Doctor Who T-shirt this one.
Oh, that's cool.
Wait a minute, Terry. What'd you say? You've never what?
I never really was an X-Files fan.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for the final episode of the G&T show. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Bye.
I don't know what it was when it was first running. I was more into Star Trek at the time. That was my show. David Duchovny kind of creeped me out. Still does. So, I love Gillian Anderson. I think she's a fabulous actress, but I don't know what it was about Duchovny. I just kind of went, ew, yeah. I just never watched it. I never watched
Kind
it.
of what Mulder was supposed to do, though. They call him Spooky Mulder.
Oh, Spooky Mulder. Is that what you did?
That's his nickname on the show, is Spooky.
Oh.
You hear that?
See, I wouldn't
Do you
know
hear that?
I did.
Did you hear that?
I did.
Well, when he was in Californication, I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's right.
I mean, he was kind of a creepy guy too in that. So I don't know. Maybe he just attracts those kinds of roles.
Or maybe he can't act.
Just a real quick here, talking about the weather earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I had sent out to my coworkers Sunday safety check. Is everybody okay? One of them answered. That's one of the beeps you heard, and she said they got 38 inches on the street. 38 inches.
Jeez.
Ick.
That is a lot of snow.
Are there like measuring stick? How do they know how many inches?
People put freaking meat, they put
Yardsticks and
rulers
stuff?
and yardsticks out there, sure.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. I do not understand what the snow is that people keep talking about. You know, I just
Mr.
don't get it.
Modesto.
I mean, it's like
Yes, Mike, there are pictures of people with yardsticks measuring the snow. Me, I'll tell you how I measure how big it is. Now, I stand on the deck. Never mind.
Go out and
But wouldn't
Into
it
the
shrivel? I thought you would have shrinkage, dude.
I'm paratrooper.
Oh, jeez. All right, now let's talk. Let's
we've
segue.
been getting rain. I mean,
let's use
this
that
is
as a
freaking us
segue.
out. This is freaking us out enough as it is.
Because Eurovan said no audio at 38 inches.
Oh, they all did. They lost audio.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, she said she had 38 inches of snow on the street where she lives.
Okay, that's hilarious. No audio after 38 inches. That was timing.
Tiny. Oh my God! Comedy is not pretty.
Yes,
Oh my God! Flashback.
I know.
Ooh.
I'm so glad you got that. See, there are very few people that actually get those jokes. Thank you. Okay.
Well,
Yes,
Yes.
We keep
walking to
trying
work
to
is
get-
very painful because I'm wearing the cruel
The cruel shoes.
With
Okay.
a vice and razor blade
Oh
to
my
hold
God.
the feet in place.
All right. Let's talk about Star Trek. There's actually a lot of news in the past couple of weeks that we get to and talk about, which has been pretty fun. And I think we'll just start with the technology news.
Hey, I saw that on Star Trek. Technology news.
Mike, technology news. Do you want to start?
Sure.
I saw this. This was trippy.
Yeah, this is oh darn.
Okay. Do you need me to do the
If you
The
can do
link?
the links, that would be helpful.
Sure.
Thank you. So basically, I came across an article. Well, it's not much of an article. It's a video on, I think, futurism.com or something like that. Basically, it shows the Star Trek-like tricorder, the Scion, in action, and how it's supposed to work, and how you can like put it up to a piece of fruit. It does its little scan and tells you, what's it made of and what its like calorie counts and stuff and all that. And it's kind of cool, basically the way it's supposed to work is it checks an online database, and so when it runs it's got a little spectrometer or whatever in it, and yeah, so it's able to figure out what something is by just by running a quick scan, and it works with pills, and I mean, this is pretty freaking amazing for something that you can get as an add-on for your cell phone. I mean,
Right.
Wow.
And it can tell you by scanning the food that you're about to eat, it can tell you the caloric, fat, and sugar content of that food.
Yeah. I mean, this is like quite
Yeah.
cool Star Trek shit right
It
here.
is. That's cool Star Trek shit right there. I agree. That's pretty awesome. That is a tricorder. Now when
So,
they start, yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't know when it's going to start, when they're going to start selling it, but I'm assuming it's going to be sooner than later. So keep an eye out because we are.
Yay! That's kind of it for technology news this week.
Yeah.
I think.
I haven't seen anything else.
Cool. I want to talk about no. Do we put? Oh, we don't. We don't have a list. I want to talk about the fun news that came out this week. Well, it actually came out a couple of weeks ago, but now there's some additional news that came out about books.
Tell me a Star Trek story. Book news.
About a very special book that is that was touched upon yesterday. Touched upon when Dayton touches something, you just kind of go, "Oh,
Hey now.
Oh,
Hey,
yes.
yes." Dayton Ward has for the 50th anniversary has a new book coming out, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
This
do you have the
looks
link
So
for that?
we've heard.
It's in the chat room now.
It is in the chat room. Okay. You can head over to Dayton Ward's blog, The Fog of Ward. And yesterday he posted about the wonderful new book that he's got coming out called Hidden Universe Star Trek, A Travel Guide to Vulcan. And this is freaking awesome. It's being put out by Hidden Universe as a Hidden Universe travel guides, which is kind of like what's the big company that like lost or Lonely Planet, right? That's the travel guide company that does a lot of these. You know, it looks kind of the same
Oh,
way. It's got
yeah.
the little band at the top, and it's their little logo, and it's like the Lonely Planet Travel Guide. So the Hidden Universe Travel Guide. This is pretty cool. So when is this supposed to be released? Is it out yet?
If I'm not mistaken, it's June of next year. Let me double check that though. I'm scanning the article.
Yeah, I am too. On or about July 19th of this year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. And it is available for pre-order
It
at
is
Amazon.com. And once again, we do ask that if you would like to support the G&T show, that you, pardon the bumps on my microphone. My dog is in here now.
Which one?
Casey always. Chloe's with
Oh, yeah,
Alan.
she's with Daddy.
Yeah.
You know, I had a dream about
yeah.
Chloe and Casey.
Okay.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love my doggies.
I have as well, but yeah.
So again, you can click on the Amazon, go over to the Support Us column on our website and read more, and then click on the Amazon.com link of the appropriate country in which you live, and support us just by buying what you normally buy at Amazon, but use our link to do it.
Thank you.
It's not a whole lot, but it certainly helps. Every little tiny bit helps. So thanks.
So back to Dayton's book. What I kind of found funny or interesting was this book also features sidebar articles about various topics, like what you should do if you find yourself the inadvertent host to a dying Vulcan Contra, or you get sucked into ceremonial combat to the death. You know, the usual vacation hazards. Yeah, you gotta know what's what to do in case of an emergency when you're traveling abroad.
And no kidding. And there is a little kind of a disclaimer at the bottom of the JPEG or the picture on there that says the final cover is yet to be revealed. So that may not necessarily be the cover that's showing right there.
But that is a nice cover.
It is really pretty. So congratulations, Dayton. We're very excited about this book and about what's coming up. Was there any other book news?
Not that I really have seen. Everything else I think we've kind of sort of discussed as we've gone along.
Yeah,
over the past
we
few
should
weeks.
start seeing some of the new TOS books coming out. I think this month was one, and there's that trilogy of books that are coming out. I know that we're going to see a lot of original series books this year, everyone, of course, as you can imagine, for the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. Simon & Schuster and the other and Pocket Books are going to be concentrating on celebrating the birth of the original show. So we're going to see a lot of books that revolve around the original show. So I don't think that there's much on deck for any other series this year. They've got all of their authors working on TOS novels, really, or other types of. Oh my God! Look at all that stuff in the people putting in the chat. There's people skiing in Times Square. How funny. Okay. What is next?
Let's see.
Some general news.
Sure.
What's new in the Star Trek universe? General news.
Yeah, I saw this last week. Omaze, the wonderful company that does nonprofit. They support a lot of nonprofit organizations by
God, they were so
creating.
fun next to us
Weren't
last
they?
year. at
They
the
were
booth.
so much fun. We were actually thrilled to have our booth next to Omaze at the last year's STLV when they were doing their Star Trek movie.
Beyond.
Was it for Beyond? Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It was for Beyond, for Star Trek Beyond, where you could win was it a walk-on role on the
Yeah.
movie? And by doing so, you could gain so many entries for that contest by the more you donated to the nonprofit organizations that they supported. So they're kind of like a I don't want to call them a wholesaler kind of a thing for nonprofit organizations, and each one of these groups decides what nonprofit organizations they're going to support, and then Omaze puts together and pretty much directs and organizes the contest. Well, George Takei has entered into an agreement and is using Omaze to do the same thing. And personally, I think it sounds like just a freaking blast. This would be really fun. You can win a private dinner in New York City with George Takei, and anybody who loves Broadway musicals, and you get to have dinner with George and Brad at their favorite restaurant in New York. You get VIP tickets to Broadway's Allegiance, which of course stars George Takei, and you get rooms at a 4-star hotel. And it just sounds like a lovely evening.
On a 5-star?
No. And
Just saying.
but I don't think there's many 5-star hotels, right? They're probably all right there. Ah!
And Terry just got mauled by her dog.
Either that or she fell out of her chair.
No,
Ground control to Major
he almost
Terry.
knocked the mic over. So. Oh, Casey.
We are
Thank you.
so
Okay.
professional.
Oh my God. Well, he's like right. He doesn't like to be across the room. He likes to be under my feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's such a baby.
He really is. He's just a huge baby.
Sounds like my dog.
Oh God,
He's not happy unless he's touching me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's actually kind of pissed right now because the base of the mic stand is in between us, and he would much rather be
Show
6
us on the
inches.
doll where
Yeah.
the dog touched you, Mike.
But after having a wonderful experience going to see 3 musicals in New York when I was there the last time, this would be a great experience, and one that I think would be unique, because it really, even though Mr. Takei was involved in Star Trek, this isn't a Star Trek thing. This is a Broadway thing. And I know I'm going on a squirrel here, but did we talk last week about that? The fact that there's a new Broadway streaming channel.
No.
I don't think
There
so.
is a new channel that is being put out by a conglomeration of corporations from and these corporations do run these theater districts or these theaters in New York, where you can now stream. I think it's like 120. They have and growing recorded performances of Broadway musicals, and I think it's like $15 a month, and you can stream as many of them as you want. And I
Wow.
thought that's really cool because they've got recordings of performances from all across time, really. So I think it's very, very cool. And they will as musicals. And I think it's just musicals, but it might be, I don't think plays are part of it yet, but boy, wouldn't that be interesting? Because, there's on Broadway right now, we didn't get to go see it, but Misery is on Broadway, or was. I think it plays through March. And, oh my God, his name just went straight out of my brain. All right. Who was in Die Hard? Come on. Bruce
Willis.
Okay. Bruce Willis is playing.
Annie?
No, he's.
I
playing
was
the
waiting.
author.
I
Yeah,
was
he
waiting till
playing the
you
author.
started.
Do you know who's playing her though?
No.
Is Laura. She used to play Roseanne's sister, and she plays
Laurie
Shel-
Metcalf?
Yeah.
I love her. Oh
And
my God, she would be so great in that
Wouldn't
role.
she be great? She's getting rave reviews.
She does Psycho really well.
She does Psycho really, really well. So she's playing, and they're doing, this stage production of Misery. And I thought, God, that would be awesome to see
Misery
Laurie
as in
Metcalf do that.
the Stephen King.
Yes.
Oh wow!
The
so writer being tied to the bed.
And these are short
Wait.
performances. It's only going to run for 3 months. It's really only running from like January through March, and it would be one of those things that those of us who live in the West would never be able to get to go see is this performance. But if it's recorded and then they put it up on the streaming service, hell, I'd pay $15 a month for that. I just think it's amazing. So, if you want to have a chance of winning a private dinner with George and Brad Takei, you can enter to win. So the more you donate to the charities that the Allegiance team is supporting,
which is to be able to send children to to attend some of these Broadway plays, and I think Allegiance is the one that they're hoping to send kids to for educational purposes.
See, and that's wonderful. Oh, okay. Well, that's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, this is an era of our history, or a portion of our history that we do not. When I was going to school, I had no idea that this was going on.
Really?
The internment camp. So the fact that
Well, it had ended by then, Mike.
Well, yes. Hopefully, thank you. But again, it's something that little
You mean
few
they
people
never
know.
covered that in high school?
I never knew about
Oh
it.
my God.
So I thought it was very important that that it is talked about, that kids are educated about it, because again, if history forgotten is history repeated.
That's right. The charity that this fundraiser supports is Inspire Change Broadway, and that is the educational charity for a lot of the performers and the support for all the SAG performers, and it's just awesome. That's awesome. So there you go. The more you donate, the more chances you get to win. So There you go. What's next? All right, Mike, you're going to have to talk about the whole Cleveland celebrates Star Trek's roots with what the heck?
Cleveland rocks.
Cleveland rocks.
Sure, just give me 1 second.
All right. I'll put the link in the chat room.
There's a whole bunch of people just waiting for us to get to a certain topic.
I know. Well, we're almost
That's
done
the only
with
reason
general
they
news
listen
and-
anymore. That's the only reason they listen anymore.
Well, there's not a lot to talk about on that.
All right. Well, members of the Star Trek organization, the International Federation of Trekkers, they went to an Irish pub.
Trekkers, not Trekkies, not
Yeah,
real fans.
no, they changed the name.
They went to an
Did you
Irish
just
pub.
say they're not real fans?
I
I
hate
did.
you, Nick. I hate you, Nick.
Well, they're
That has
not.
gotten-
I'm an arbiter of who's a real fan.
That
I
has
can
gotten
make
on
a
my
blanket
nerves
decision.
so much this week. Anyways, here's some great fans. They went to an Irish pub where they were celebrating their local chapter's charitable efforts. The city councilman, Cleveland's city councilman, Martin Keene, he presided over a resolution of appreciation for all of their hard work. They raised over $15,000 for local charities, conducted annual food drives for
Oh, this
food
is
banks,
great.
supplies for local animal shelters, Toys for Tots.
That's the great thing about your local
March for Babies, Heart Walk, Laura's Home. I mean, these are real Star Trek
That's
fans.
exactly
Well,
right.
that's like in the charter of like the Star Trek fan club that I'm a member of here, the community service is a huge part of that.
Yep, this is wonderful. They've named, it says here, according to the resolution, the 60-member Cleveland chapter named the USS Challenger, named to honor the crew of the ill-fated space shuttle, raised over $15,000 for local charities and conducted food drives. This is fantastic. Awesome. Well, congratulations to the chapter of the Federation in Cleveland. That's wonderful news, and it's nice to get some positive stuff to hear about Trekkies.
Yes.
Whatever.
I mean,
if they're not real fans.
Whatever floats your fucking boat.
This is what it means to be a real fan, not this petty bickering that I'm seeing a lot of lately.
Save it, Klingon.
All right. I'm sorry. I got to jump the gun here.
Did you say Gaga?
What?
Matthew Anderson, he said Gaga.
He said Gaga. I heard it.
We need a picture. Speaking of great derrieres.
What? Where did that come from?
Lady Gaga.
Oh, yeah. She's awesome.
Right?
Yep. So, the Scottish National Party's ambition to establish Europe's first spaceport in the United Kingdom was supported by both William Shatner and George Takei this week.
Did you
what?
See Dave's comment?
No,
on
what did he
Facebook
say?
Page? He's like, she needs to put her thumb out. Dave Chappell.
I did. Dave Chappell. Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
It's like, yeah, that's it.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. There is a photo of the Scottish National Party's MP holding up a Vulcan salute, but unfortunately, she just doesn't stick her thumb out. Some people don't, although most of us do.
She has an accent.
She's from Scotland.
Yeah, she's got an accent.
Yeah, it's very cute.
She doesn't think so. We're the ones with weird accents.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's all relative.
Y'all got some weird ass accents.
But it's kind of nice to see that. Now, is this a Virgin spaceport that they're trying to approve?
Hey, we don't judge.
I never judge. But I'm asking, like in Virgin Galactic.
Well, I think it's going to be a general purpose one. It's just the fact that they're the leading contender right now in the market. So I'm sure they're the ones that are going to be using it probably sooner than later. But I think just the idea that they're opening a spaceport, it's going to open up a lot more opportunities for the entire region to have access to that. Because doesn't Europe have to send their rockets and stuff all the way down to Africa in order for launching?
I don't. I really don't know.
That's a good question.
I really don't know.
I could be incorrect, but I think that's the way that they are that they're set up. They ship everything down towards an island off of Africa.
Yeah, French Guiana, Matthew Anderson said.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In order to do their launches of non-crewed
rockets.
Non-crewed equipment, and anything with people is being launched from Russia, from the Cosmodrome or whatever it's called in Russia.
Right.
Or China, right? Don't they also launch from China?
Do they?
Or is that unmanned? Well, I think that might be unmanned.
China does have the ability to put people up there. I don't know how often they actually do, but it's South America.
Look at Matthew Anderson.
He's got
putting
charts
maps
and graphs and maps and
I think for most people
he's a Cylon.
I know he really is. I'm reading some of the comments on this article. Of course, you should never really read the comments, but I do from time to time. And in this one, of course, the first person's like, "Oh, that's a great idea. Build a spaceport in a country that rains all the time." I'm thinking, okay, you're not really quite grasping the deal with Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic doesn't use rockets. They use actual reusable planes, these beautiful kind of double-hulled airplanes that hold the capsule in the middle, and it actually takes off from like a goddamn airline pad. It's just a huge runway.
Right. Yeah,
and they take them up, and then they send the rocket when it's already way the fuck up there. So rain won't be a big deal because they would be above the clouds. Okay, so
I know.
I know.
And
People are.
Matt Anderson points out it's South America, not Africa. I stand
Okay.
corrected.
And there she is.
Easily
the,
mistaken.
The VSS Enterprise. I do believe that might be one of the pictures of it. By the way, that was the name and is the name of one of them. So
The portion in the center is actually what enters orbit
Yeah.
rather than
correct.
the whole thing.
and it's suborbital at this time. It doesn't actually get all the way through. It gets up
That's a
to
whole
0G,
new
but it is.
meaning for the Mile High Club.
And I think you get 15 minutes. So that would be plenty of time, I would think.
That may be
That's
all you
three.
need.
That's 3 or 4 sessions. What? That's not.
No, that's all right. Oh, too
Hey,
funny.
When you're under the gun, you got to do what you got to
Yeah,
do.
you got to
know
do
what I'm
what you got to
saying?
do. No kidding. Yeah, I can imagine that. I don't even want to imagine. But I think that the price dropped, at least for the ones that will be taking out of New Mexico when they finally get clearance,
Right on.
to like 150,000. So
Right on.
Nice.
TV news?
yes, TV news.
Grab the remote. Star Trek's on. Television news.
What you got? What do you got?
Okay. So Star Trek apparently is leaving Amazon,
Oh yeah.
and there's the possibility that it's also going to be leaving other streaming services as well, such as Netflix and whatever, once their contracts are up.
Yep.
So
So
looks
why?
like
So does everybody pretty much now
Gee,
assume that
Mike,
it's
why would that happen?
because there's this thing called
CBS All Access.
shock.
But
wait
I'm
a minute.
shocked.
The Star Trek episodes
wait-
are currently available on CBS All Access.
But wait a minute, Mike. That would mean
Yes.
people are paying to watch, unlike what they do on Netflix or Hulu or anything like that. How dare CBS? Shakes fist.
I think they're missing one
Double.
important, distinction. You're paying already.
Right. Exactly. Now the problem is now you're going to be forced to choose between streaming services if you feel that you are being forced to choose, or you can just choose to stream another service.
A la carte streaming.
It's just, this
And
is the
if you're
wave of the
complaining
future,
about
everybody.
this,
What was that?
welcome to first world problems if this
Oh,
is
I
your
swear
major
to
complaint
Buddha.
in life.
I know.
I do have a question. I think the article also mentions that CW is launching a streaming service as well.
Really?
CW is different than CBS. Is that
That's
correct?
CW
Okay.
is owned
Yes.
by Paramount, isn't it? Or is it Warner Brothers? Who's CW
not
owned
sure.
by?
I'm not
sure.
I used to know. I used to give a shit. It was the CW. American
CBS.
Broadcast- It is owned by CBS. It's a joint
Yes, it is.
venture. It's a joint venture between CBS and Time Warner.
So it is different than All Access, CBS All
Yes.
Access.
Yes.
Interesting.
So, you know what? It's a joint. Wow. Here's what's really interesting then to me. CBS is kicking ass in the superhero market then.
Yes. To a degree. Well, I mean, what, with the CW?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
They took from NBC when NBC dropped their load and said, no, we're going to go with bad reality, in quotes, programming. And for people that don't know, that's because Sci-Fi is owned by NBC Universal. And with all this, and now with Supergirl on CBS itself, yeah. Well played, Les
God,
Moonves.
this is
well
a
played.
hell of a joint venture. It's a limited liability joint venture between CBS, the former owners of the United Paramount Network (UPN), Warner Brothers Entertainment, a division of Time Warner, formerly the majority owner of the WB. So it's a hell of a partnership. Got a couple of companies working together on it. So that's kind of interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's totally going to be what we've been talking about for years. Is this is the wave of the future. We're starting to see the real push for it. Even Disney's stock took a hit this past couple of weeks because of the downgrades to ESPN. The fact of the matter is ESPN is bleeding viewers, just bleeding.
Because it hasn't really changed its presentation
Cord cutters.
in a long
It's cord
time.
cutters. It's cord cutters. It is everybody dumping cable and going to a select few streaming services. And when they cut the cable, means that ESPN no longer gets that subscriber cut. And that's where their money comes from, is the subscriptions through cable. People aren't paying for ESPN if they don't have cable. Now, when they're able to extract themselves and become their own streaming service, then things might turn around and change.
You see a jump, yeah.
Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that all they do is talk about sports that other companies, NFL, NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, those
Have
are all
their
separate
own
companies, and
networks
they already
already.
own their own stuff, and they're going to start their own streaming services. Now, the NFL is going to be not as fluid as the rest of the sporting industry is. I think it's just like me. I already stream Major League Baseball. I pay $125 a year for my MLB.TV, and I stream every single game, including spring training. So the moment
And frankly, I'd rather listen to the analysis on the MLB network and
Right.
ESPN
because they're home,
well, and not only that,
you get the home feeds.
but but I even mean like the hot stove baseball in the winter, the shows they have like that.
Yeah.
Because the ESPN shtick has become so tired.
I don't necessarily.
Chris Berman, don't even get me started.
Oh, I like Chris. He's very nice.
No, stop.
No, he really is.
You know what? Do some Googling on all the, Terry, if you read about what a pig he is, you're going to change your tune.
I don't know. No.
All the sexual harassment complaints, and they refuse to let him go.
I don't know.
He's a pig. And bark, 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 bark. Oh, shut your fat face.
Well, that's not what this is about. What I was talking about was the fact that I think that ESPN is dealing with, some serious cord cutting issues, and we're seeing that CBS is moving forward with this. That's the reason why the new Star Trek show is going to be on CBS All Access, is because they're going to use it as an anchor show for the streaming service that's already in existence. So
Right.
I know a lot of people are upset with the idea that, they're going to have to quote unquote pay for it. But the fact is that they do already now, and they just don't
And
realize
if you drop
it.
your cable and you got Netflix, Hulu, CBS,
Amazon Prime.
you're still going to pay less, if not the same, than you do for your cable.
Yeah.
You just won't be able to do something like watch an NFL game live.
Yeah, and services like Amazon Prime, I mean, you're paying for a year in advance. So
Correct,
you're paying what, $7 or $8 a year or a month, excuse me, for that year. So
Yeah,
I mean,
Hulu is what, $8 a month?
so in the long run, you're actually saving by going a la carte like this,
Yeah.
So, product news.
I need more Star Trek stuff. Product news.
Yeah. There's that doll. Have you seen that? Did you see that doll?
I saw the link that you shared. Yes.
So cute. It's so cute. And they're going to do 12 of them? Is that what I heard, or is that what I read? So let's get that link. Where did I do with it?
I'm posting the link. Go ahead.
thank
I
you.
want a Michelle Speck doll, and I want a Kipley Brown doll.
You would have to make them on your own. Just don't sell
You're
them.
assuming I haven't.
I was gonna say, just don't sell them.
Mezco's second
Hi,
Star Trek
Kipley.
action figure.
I miss
So it is
Kipley
the
so
second.
much.
I do too. All right. So Mezco, a company that they previously announced a Spock figurine. It's a 1/12 ratio or 1/12 scale Spock figure that's being sold through Entertainment Earth. And what's kind of cool is that the dolls actually go. You're gonna laugh. It comes with the action figures come with two different heads. So there's actually 2 different facial expressions you can get with each doll, and they're really, really well done. So
Yeah,
the
and
Spock
lots
one
of
is
hand options, and one of them includes a sword.
for the Sulu.
For the Sulu.
Yeah, the Sulu one has a sword, a phaser. They come with little tricorders. So there's a serious look, and then there's the Takei one has the classic Sulu smile, little communicators, and the Spock one has the quintessential Spock eyebrow lift as one of the heads that you can use. These are really, really well done. They almost, I mean, the sculpt on these is beautiful. I have to say, I was like, wow, those are really cool. So that's number 2 that's coming out. Even the little uniform. Look at the quality of the stitching in the uniform on the close-ups. Those are really cool.
Very nice.
So I think the one for Spock runs $70, and it's going to be released in June, and you can pre-order it through Entertainment Earth.
Real quick before we move on, I came across an article about a Star Trek product, but this is not something that you can probably buy very easily nowadays. Let's see, a guy, he walks into a Walmart, goes over to the clearance section, okay, and what does he find? He finds the Star Trek US Defiant Playmates set. Okay, this is like from the early 90s, and he just found this like earlier this week. Sometime, and it's like, how in the world did they hold on to this for that long? I mean, I just thought it was amazing. And of course, they didn't know the people at the Walmart didn't know how to charge for it. So he walked away with it for $20. $20.
Well, it was considered clearance, right?
Yeah. So
that's wild. So
that's wild. I was like, holy
where was
cow.
this? Does it say?
A local Walmart in North Carolina.
Wow. Lucky. Good for him.
That's a score if there ever was one. That's awesome. Congratulations, guy.
And that's really, no kidding. Congratulations is awesome. That's very, very fun. All right. So shall we talk about unofficial productions? Let's just get it out of the way.
If we have to.
Well, let's wait a minute. So,
okay.
Let's just wait a minute.
Oh.
There's other topics within unofficial productions.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
I made something Star Trek. Unofficial productions.
Okay, let's see. Starbase Studios. They've got a GoFundMe going on right now. They are looking to...
Do they?
Yeah, they're trying to construct new sets. And, these sets are going to be available to whoever wants to use them. And, donations for, like, cleaning is all that they're asking for after use.
Huh.
So, I mean, I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, having it available to whoever wants to use them, as long as, they're cleaned up afterwards.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And they're only trying to raise, a few grand. And last time I checked, yesterday, it was they were like less than $500 from it.
Right.
So
we really do need to talk about Red Shirt Diaries.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love her.
I watched the most recent episode, Operation Annihilate. And
happy birthday, Larry.
Yes, and happy birthday, Larry Nemeczek, who portrays the drunk McCoy in it, which is
so awesome.
It was so awesome. But dude, talk about a kick in the balls.
Oh, the ending?
Yes.
Gotta have a hook for the next
all
season.
the way through her stuff, and all of a sudden I was like, well, whammo.
Gotta have a hook for the next seaon.
It was sad, man. I'm just saying.
She is so awesome, though.
She's very, very fun. And if you haven't seen the Red Shirt Diaries, do yourself a favor. These are fun, short, kitschy parody things that of the original series. She's doing them in order, isn't she? Yeah. Of the original series.
I think so, yeah.
So fun. So yay. And what else do we have, Mike? One more before, is Janet back? Janet.
She's back.
Yes, I'm
Hi,
back.
Janet.
Yeah, we have a couple more.
What?
Cool.
In fact, I misfiled a couple of them.
I
So
was gonna say, okay.
Mike's digging through boxes now.
okay, so first we have a new clip and release date for Star Trek Horizons.
Oh, congrats. All right.
Bear with me. I've got it.
He's searching through his boxes. Papers
Well,
are flying everywhere.
Does that mean he's done?
Let's see. The official release date for the web will be February 28th, 2016.
Holy moly. So only
there-
a month away. That's fantastic.
Yep. There will be a showing of the film at the Royal Oak, Maine in Royal Oak, Michigan on February 25th. There's 140 seats available. If you've donated to a certain level, you're guaranteed a ticket to the premiere. So I do believe this will most likely not be charged if you do attend, but there are limited seating. And there is a new clip, but I'm unsure if the clip is completely live for everyone. But for donors, it is available. And this project has always looked amazingly great.
Yeah.
So look
Beautiful,
for it.
beautiful work.
Yes. So it's wonderful stuff. So be sure to check it out.
All right.
And one more.
Oh, Dark Armada.
Yes.
Is that it?
Dark
Okay.
Armada.
Congratulations to them too to figure out a way to move forward. That's
They've
not
been
to say
doing it
that-
for 10 years as well.
I know they've been doing it a really long time, and I thought, oh, they're bringing it to an end. That's a long-lived fan production,
Yeah.
and then it said, but we're not giving it all up. We're kind of just, and they're right. They've been concentrating on that kind of. The show was named after the villain, really, for so long that they've decided to kind of move forward and change the title and really concentrate on the ship now, which is the Batavia.
Yeah. When I was reading this, I wondered, is this kind of almost like a fan production reboot? Is that what's kind of happening here?
Or are they just going to move forward with, like the Star Trek novels did when they killed off the Borg?
Yeah.
They're just moving forward, and instead of, having their production named after their main villain kind of thing, they're just going to concentrate on the USS Batavia now and having it being able to tell wider stories as opposed to just this linear arc regarding the Dark Armada.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wasn't sure, but that was kind of the idea that popped, or the question that popped into my head earlier when I first came across it. Is this some kind of almost like a reboot where they're just kind of I don't want to say starting over, but starting anew?
Yeah.
And they had mentioned that some characters will be returning, and they're going to be having some new introducing some new ones and stuff. So
Kind of like what we're seeing from Farragut too.
yeah, so I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I'm glad to see that they aren't going away, but they are moving forward, as you said.
Yeah.
So fantastic.
Yeah, congratulations, everybody.
And that's all I've got. So, Nick.
So we had an interesting week to show
Yeah,
behind
Yes, we
the
did.
scenes. Seems some people are paying attention to us
to a degree.
to a degree, to the point where Mike got contacted.
Yeah, and
Let's
Well, again,
let's delve into this.
yeah. Well, let's say we got contacted again, and what we're, you guys may hear, and it is true. We were asked to have Alec Peters on the show from the Axanar Project.
Well,
And
we asked him a while ago.
And well, to be honest with you, over the past year and a half, we have asked Alec several times to be on our show. He failed to appear for our interviews 3 times. And the last time he asked to be on our show was a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, when we absolutely set up a time to have him come on and answer some of our questions. And then he sent a note to us saying that he wouldn't be able to speak with us. And I think at the time he even said, because of the impending litigation, and we totally
And then-
understood that.
And then was posting all kinds of stuff.
But that's neither here nor there. But now since this week, for those who may not know, there has been some movement in the lawsuit against Axanar Productions from CBS and Paramount, and that is Axanar Productions and assumedly Alec as well was able to obtain legal representation to defend them in the case, and they have filed what's called an extension of time, or an extension in which to file their response. So their response to the court is not due until mid to late February.
February 22nd.
Yeah, so they got a
February
30-day. Yeah, they got a 30-day extension to file this lawsuit. So now, Alec has legal representation set in stone. And
Yes.
he has taken exception with some of the things that we have said over the past couple of shows. He feels that we have been unfair.
Well, I'd
go
like
ahead.
to quote him. He sent a message to Mike, and I'm going to read you exactly the interchange. Alex said, "Man, you guys really have a hard-on for us, or what?" Mike's reply was, "It is something that concerns us, and we are watching closely." Alex's response was, "A little balance would be nice."
Okay.
Mike said, "We've invited you to come on and address our questions." Alex's response was, "You didn't follow up. How about asking me to come on after yesterday's announcement?" That announcement being the legal representation. "Give me a time. Ask me."
All right.
Mike's response was, "I will confer with the team and find out what time is good for everyone." So we all talked. We had an emergency staff meeting, and I'm not joking about that, where we all got on TeamSpeak, and we're messaging each other, and we came up with, okay, we'll do this, but Terry, go ahead and say what we came up with and why.
And
Because
why? And
we
here,
want to. Yeah, and first of all, we are not a news show. Let me
Right.
get that. We are an opinion podcast.
there's 3 or 4 and sometimes 5 of us getting together to talk about what we feel about Star Trek. That's really what the show is about. That's why we have listeners who we interact with, and we have feedback, and we talk about the movies, we talk about the shows, we talk about our opinions on pretty much everything Star Trek and Star Trek storytelling. We are not journalists. We never claimed to be
I am.
journalists. And really what we are concerned fans. And that's what this is about. And while we would love to have Alec on to address very specific concerns and questions that we have about the activities, the fact of the matter is now those questions that we're going to be asking him, or asking anybody who's affiliated with the production staff at Axanar, would be considered direct questions about the impending litigation.
Which does not
Directly.
make us a hater,
No,
by the way.
these are we have very specific questions.
It makes us
like
curious.
it makes us very curious. We want to know. But the
Just
fact that
because we have questions doesn't mean we hate anything.
no, and
This
you
whole
have to remember
hater thing
that there
is
are
the
those
lowest
of us.
form
Right.
of attack.
No, we want solid, truthful, outward answers to very, very specific questions. And while we know Alec, and there are very many fans from Axanar who are not happy with the fact that we have these concerns, I don't really give a shit about whether or not you're happy. The fact of the matter is I'm expressing my opinion as to those concerns, and those concerns are concerns. It doesn't mean that I can't wait for Discovery in this case to open, because maybe I'll get some answers to these questions. The fact of the matter is now,
And they are concerns based on what we've read in the
Yes.
legal paperwork.
yes, and on other things, and hearing from other donors who have concerns. Not every donor to the Axanar project is supportive.
Happy.
Is happy right now. That's exactly right. So what we're hearing are going to be, these are the same concerns we have. We are fans, regardless of what a very coarse, yes, I will. And there are,
Hey, stop it.
wait, what? Okay. There are concerns that I would like to have addressed. And so one of the things that I felt was very important in light of the fact that Alec and Axanar Productions now have legal representation is clearance, like any other interview would ask for. And that is, the fact of the matter is, we're going to be asking him very specific questions about the impending litigation, which means that I need to be able to make sure, and we need to be able to make sure, that Alec's new legal counsel is not only aware that we want to have him on the show and to discuss the case. I don't want him to come in and discuss what a true fan is. That's bullshit, and it is moot. I don't give a shit what they think a real fan is. What I want to talk to Alec about is the goddamn case. I want to talk to him about the facts of the case. I want him to answer very specific questions about how Axanar was set up, where has the money come from, where has the money gone, very, very specific questions.
Based on his own podcasts and web postings.
And also things that other people want us to ask him.
Yes.
Now, these are questions that, frankly, have everything to do with the impending litigation. And we didn't want anybody to give us or to have the idea that somehow we were trapping Alec or anybody else in an uncomfortable situation that he may not have known about. So we asked Alec to give us
actually for his lawyer to give us.
That's to give us, to have his lawyer send us a letter on their letterhead that said, we understand that Alec wants to, so here, yes, we understand you will be essentially saying, yes, our client can talk to you. And
believe it or not,
it's a protection for him.
Exactly. People he may not believe that, but we are, believe it or not, we are looking out for his legal interests as well.
Now, any other quote unquote journalist or any other news agency or somebody who was out there who wanted to ask him questions, if Alec wanted to appear on that show and answer those questions without, going to his attorney and saying, gee, is this a good idea? That's how that's how people get taken advantage of. And I am actually professional. I would think that we're professional enough to go, you know what? No, because what we really want to talk about is the case. And I don't think that Alec understands that what we want to talk to him about is the actual case. And if he and his attorney want to make the fucking mistake of coming on our show to talk about the case, then I'll be more than happy to have him on. After his attorney says, oh yeah, it's okay for him to talk about the case. I don't think that's going to happen. And I just want to make sure that we're on the up and up. I don't want anybody to think that we're that shitty. Because I'll tell you, that's the only reason I want to have him on the show. I don't want to talk about who's a real fan. I don't want to talk about whether or not his fans have a certain passion that exceeds the norm of most fans. I don't want to talk about that crap with him. I want to talk to him about the case. So that's it. So we had sent a message to Alec yesterday. He was not happy about it. He doesn't understand and did not understand why we wanted to have his lawyer's permission to speak to him about the case. But that's the fact of the matter is he made the announcement that he now has legal representation. Why on earth would anybody pick up the phone and say, gee, Alec, now that you have legal representation, let's talk about the case? It just, I wanted to bang my head against the wall going, really? Okay.
Yeah,
if you want to talk about it, then I want or maybe you might want to bring your attorney with you.
Because he's saying that he wants to talk to us about...
I just want to interject for a second.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just to interject for a second. If he's represented by counsel, which he is, that's clear. That's the truth. We got no problem with that, and that's a fact. So if we start talking to him without his counsel knowing about it, and he says something that potentially can undermine his defense, then all sorts of hell is going to break loose. And so we're not here to to play a gotcha game here. We're not here to undermine his relationship with his attorneys. We're not here to undermine his defense. We have questions, we want answers, but we also don't want to come between him and his lawyers. He has the rights to an attorney. Of course he does. That's not the issue here. We're not trying to make that sort of trouble, or any sort of trouble for that matter. This is our curiosity. These are our questions, but we are not going to do this at the expense of his relationship with his attorneys.
Exactly.
That's why we wanted permission from his lawyers.
Right. And it's
if
professional
somebody wants
courtesy.
to misconstrue that as us being afraid to talk to Alec, you could not be more wrong. We are not afraid. What we are doing is being responsible.
We have a lot of questions that we would love to have specifically answered. Trust us.
And when he
we
tells
do.
us that we have traffic in lies and misrepresentations, well, what we've talked about has been nothing personal about him, and by that I mean his personality or anything like that. We have talked about the case, which means he's saying we've lied about the case, which would be the questions that we have, which is now an ongoing litigation
Right.
that he should have clearance from his legal professionals to talk about
Exactly.
in a forum that could be used against him later if he says something that CBS could hold on to.
And that's the thing is we're not CBS. We are not Paramount. We are the GNT show. And
that is not
parts. And you know what we are? We are fans. We are fans of fan productions. We have covered fan productions since we started beginning. And we are concerned about this case and how it could have ramifications on not just Axanar, but on other fan productions as well. It's a big, big thing.
And I want to make it clear by what I said, because the Marines... yeah, right. Like to glom onto something. I'm not intimating that anything illegal happened, but this is a court case.
And discovery hasn't started.
So,
and
just
may
like
not.
if we had somebody from CBS on, you know damn fucking well that their lawyers would have to clear it first.
That's exactly right. And that's all we would ask for. And that's all we're asking for. I would love to have CBS on too.
Oh my God. Because I want you all to think about something.
Can I have CBS on? Do you think their lawyers will let one of their people sit down with us and talk about this case? Can we talk to the lawyers?
CBS, can we talk to one of your lawyers, please?
Yeah,
Thank
really.
you. People, think about this for a second. If this is going to get pushed and if this is going to get fought, this is me personally thinking. Okay? And of course, my work starts emailing me.
Up, yeah.
This is me thinking. We talked earlier about CBS and our, with the CW and all of that. People are making fan films of other genres too, don't forget. So don't you think that maybe Warner Brothers with the DC or Disney with the Marvel are keeping an eye on this because people make fan films? What happens if others start pulling in and siding with CBS?
Right.
What this could do to the whole of fan filmdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the ramifications of this could be very widespread, and it could be bad news for everyone. And we're just concerned. We are truly concerned.
We're very, very concerned, and we're going to keep talking about the case as long as it's alive. And again, we welcome Alec and
even his lawyer.
And even his lawyer to come onto the show and talk about the case, because that's what we want to talk about. And CBS. And if anybody from CBS wants to reach out to us, that's going to happen. Uh-huh.
But, of course, no, by doing that, we're haters. We will be accused of being haters.
Of course we will. Of course we will.
So from what I've gathered over the course of all this is if you don't walk lockstep and believe 100% everything that's being said, you're a hater.
From a certain group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, from a certain group of cranky-ass people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not everybody feels that way. And you know what? We are getting a lot of really great support as well.
Yeah,
There
we
are
are.
a lot of people that are very concerned about how their money has been spent and where that money has gone. And those are the questions we'd like to have answered, because a Word document about a financial statement does not a financial statement make. As much as people would love for that to be true, it really isn't. A financial statement or fucking bank statements and certified audit reports. So,
And, you know, there's another case that has started that I know Mike was concerned about that could have ramifications in another way, but not the way people think. The cosplay one. Terry, do you want to talk about that? And talk about what people's concern is. Oh, no, now I can't dress as a Gorn anymore when I go to a
Oh.
convention.
yeah, let's talk about that.
Lingus in the chat room.
Thank
You're
you very
good.
much.
Look
There
at
was
how good Mike
another
is.
interesting article that came out from that regarding some questions that have come up about copyright and fair use when it comes to cosplay. And again, because I think there is a wholehearted, rampant misunderstanding of how copyright law works, even just the basics. Okay, I'm not a lawyer. Janet is. However, if people are kind of misunderstanding what I do for a living or what I have done in my career, again, I'm a 28-year, going on 29 years, professional liability and corporate liability insurance adjuster. So I actually not only help and manage litigation of defense of cases that are like this against corporations for anything from libel, slander, defamation, IP infringement, medical malpractice, accounting malpractice, you name it. If you've got a license or you're a professional, chances are I've handled the kind of case that you would be sued for. And this is all I've done for the past 29 years. There is a very rampant misunderstanding.
And you've dealt with names people would know.
Yeah, and half of which I still can't talk about because I
Right.
understand what a non-disclosure agreement is. Okay, so
People, we've signed an NDA on this show, and if you knew some of the stuff that we know, oh my God, that whole thing about Jonathan Frakes and the porn. No, sorry, I can't.
you can't.
It has
What
to
was-
do with Sarah
I'm kidding.
Palin, and there might be some Crisco oil involved, but I can't really say anymore. Okay,
Bernie Sanders and the Crisco Club photos. That's parody,
in
people.
the
That's
conservatory
parody.
with the lead
With the lead pipe.
pipe.
With the lead pipe. Oh, so there is a rampant misunderstanding of
On
just
that
the
happy note.
basics. Yeah, a rampant misunderstanding of the basics of copyright law and trademark infringement or copyright infringement. And it's an unfortunate thing because it's hard to try to educate the general public about the basics when they have such passion built into the ideas surrounding it. And the cosplay fandom is not unlike the Star Trek fandom in that passion. And so there was a huge kerfuffle when this article came out and it ran through the world of social media, so to speak, and everything from Tumblr
At the
to
speed of social media.
at the speed of social media. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, they're going to make it illegal for us to cosplay."
I do
And
have
once-
a question after.
Yes.
Go ahead first.
And I was going to say, and I started to bang my head against the wall. Okay, Mike, what?
Terry's forehead she looks like a wrestler.
I'll
Boy,
tell ya.
It's so
It's very
scarred up.
flat. It's flat
Ooh.
now. Okay,
Looks
my
like Dusty
question.
Rhodes' head.
My question pertains to impersonators, people who look like and dress like someone that we
Parody.
know.
And that's it. Go ahead.
Okay, so someone, let's say, you have your friend who's a Guinan impersonator. If she were
Yes.
to go, say, to a convention,
And makes money from doing that.
signing photos of herself in costume dressed as Guinan,
Yes.
can she get in trouble for that?
No, that's already been clarified. Impersonators
Okay.
are impersonators. They sell themselves as impersonators, and they are protected under parody. They're protected.
She's not selling herself as
She's
Whoopi
not-
Goldberg.
She's not saying I am Whoopi Goldberg. She's saying I'm a Whoopi Goldberg lookalike.
Okay, even
Yeah,
even if-
it's
go ahead,
Go ahead, Janet.
please.
some of this is about confusion. Okay,
Yes.
about people's reasonable confusion. So
Law
that
is
if it's an animated character, And I'm so sorry that I keep interrupting people, but it's because the motherboard in my computer is dying, so I hear like 1/10 of what everybody says. So we might be talking about, I don't know what we're talking about, but anyway, about cosplay. It's a question of kind of reasonable confusion, and this is not to say that people are stupid. That's not what I'm implying here, but. For example, an animated character, somebody playing that live, of course there's no confusion. We know that Scooby-Doo's not real. It gets a little fuzzy, though, when we've got somebody dressed up as Cinderella at Disney World. But if somebody is dressed up as Cinderella at the San Diego Comic-Con, and they're not associated with there's no Disney booth or anything like that, is there a reasonable confusion? I would say for most people it probably isn't. That it just seems to be like, this is dress up, this is adult dress up. It's like a costume party, it's like Halloween. I don't think the Supreme Court wants to shut any of that stuff down. I'm sure that they can see that it's fun, and for the most part it's not done for profit. Now, copyright infringement, profit is not an element of this action.
Correct.
Profit isn't necessary, but I'm sure that if profit starts to be made on an IP that people don't have permission to use, that companies will get concerned and will start to raise the litigation flag on their ship. So that's kind of where this may be coming from. But if you want to dress up as John Barrowman in Torchwood, hey, you want to do that? Hey, go for it and enjoy yourself. Because
had to go the Barrowman
for the most part, nobody's going to think it's you.
Well, he's kind of on our minds.
I figured I had to.
Yeah. Well, no,
but
so that
they're not gonna. It's not going to be a problem.
So there are some very famous cosplayers out there in that have bled into the social media world that are known. One that comes to mind is Jessica Negri.
Yes. So
if she's selling photos of her as Harley Quinn,
it runs a fine line.
right?
It's getting fuzzy. It's getting fuzzy.
And that's
I
where
think
it
that
gets
may be
gray.
part
Because she's selling
of why
herself
this is getting
as
litigated.
she's putting
to
it up
just start
as
it.
Jessica Negri. She's putting it up as Jessica Negri as Harley Quinn.
But are you buying it because she's wearing whatever she's wearing?
Right, exactly.
And there's the gray, Matt. And there's the gray. Is while she may be selling herself as herself, are you buying it because she is as
Harley Quinn.
that character? And Marvel or DC would probably want to go, she's making and yes, she's making an income off of using other people's IPs.
Because there are cosplayers that are invited to conventions
Yes.
and treated much the same as any celebrity with.
So while, right, and that's the thing, is that but see, they're also known for being cosplayers.
Exactly.
They're not known for being those characters. They're known for being themselves, dressing up as other people. So I think that they have arguable protections under fair use and parody. It's to be honest with you, that's more gray because money gets involved. And when somebody starts making an income off of other people's IPs, the IP owners then have to take a step back and go, gee, is that necessarily fair? That's the gray area that are coming up in these cases. But for people to start panicking, going, oh my God, I won't be able to cosplay anymore, you guys really need to chill out. You just need, just go to your Comic Cons, keep going to supporting your local Comic Cons and your conventions and anybody, and dress up as who the fuck you want to, okay? You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. So
Just like people are worried right now about, with this Axnar thing, does that mean I can't write fan fiction anymore? No, what you can't do is you can't do what you've always done, never been able to do. Terry could not sell Horizons.
Sell it. You just can't sell it. Don't
Heritage.
sell it. Exactly. It's if you want to read fan fiction, go out and read it. You can do it for free, and it's not like you're going to be going out there and saying, "Oh, gee, this fan fiction I'm getting mixed up with the real thing," because you're not.
No,
and you're not buying.
If you're
it.
getting mixed up between Slash and the real thing, you've got bigger issues than we need to discuss.
Because I have to tell you, I'm a big thing on Garrick Bashir.
That's okay. I have Hoshi Tapal, so. What?
No, I don't.
I only
Is
heard
that
the
there's
first
a lot
syllable
out
of her
there.
name.
Is that Empress Hoshi?
Oh, there you go. Empress Hoshi Tapal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that's long hair Tapal.
And now all of a sudden Nick
we lost Nick.
Well, I hope we don't lose him for too long because I think we have an Ask Dayton next.
Let's do it.
Dear Dayton, I need your advice. Ask Dayton.
Okay,
I miss
hold on.
Dayton. I miss Dayton.
Who's Miss Dayton?
Oh my.
Matthew Anderson, find Miss Dayton. Because you know that there's a pageant, Miss Dayton,
That's frightening.
you know, for the Miss Ohio. I'm waiting for this now.
Yeah, so am I.
Speaking of Slash.
Speaking of Slash.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
And
Go ahead.
yay, Dayton Ward.
So for the listener on our listening to this later, if I suddenly burst out laughing, it's because he found who Miss Dayton is. Ask Dayton number 9. Hi. Let me try that
Morning.
again.
Sure.
Yeah, morning.
You.
Morning, sunshine. Ask Dayton number 114. Nice save. Jesus fucking Christ.
Take 3.
Harry Ballsack. Oh, wait a minute. I said something about an anatomy part. Ask Dayton number 114. Nice save, Gene. Dear Dayton, what do you think is on Gene Roddenberry's floppy disks? Dayton's response. Okie dokie, folks. Here's your chance. Cue up all those you turn my floppy disk into a hard drive jokes you've been saving since the 1980s. Go on. Get it out of your system. I'll wait. Everybody cool now? Grab your cigarettes and bask in the afterglow while I get on with answering the question. A couple of weeks ago, geek circles were abuzz with the news that a computer data recovery firm, Drive Savers, had been contacted by Gene Roddenberry's estate to look into the possibility of retrieving whatever secrets might be squirreled away on 200 floppy diskettes that once belonged to the renowned Star Trek creator. 200 floppy diskettes. For all we know, the Great Bird of the Galaxy might have been hoarding a prototype copy of Windows or Halo. Nah, probably not. Though finding hardware...
This image of Gene Roddenberry playing Halo.
No, I think it would be more Doom. I think Doom was more his style.
I think it was probably Mist.
Wow, Miss Dayton looks like...
Yeah.
No, but she looks like, oh God, who's the celebrity? Oh, I can't think. Wow, that's some hair.
Yeah.
She's an attractive young lady.
Okay.
Okay,
Back
sorry.
to Dayton.
Blame Matthew Anderson.
You
Though finding hardware to read such an antiquated storage medium is pretty tough for regular everyday folk, the gang at Drive Savers is pretty savvy, and this sort of thing is right in their wheelhouse. According to various articles I read, the group was successful in prying the data from the cold, dead claws of those ancient coasters. However, as Drive Savers was bound by a confidentiality agreement, you know what? There you go again, Terry, another confidentiality agreement.
Those rat stinking things, I tell you.
Bastards.
I tell you.
They couldn't tell the rest of us spectators just what had been received. So far, the Roddenberry estate hasn't shared anything either. Or either. You could go either way with that. No doubt they're sifting through the archives and deciding what's private and what might be appropriate for sharing with the masses. Therefore, we're just going to have to speculate, aren't we? Now me,
Yes.
Yes.
I figure this stuff is likely stored correspondence, like early versions of email or other documents Mr. Roddenberry would have first composed electronically before printing it and having it distributed to staff and whoever else. I'm sure a lot of this stuff is pretty mundane, but given the time period the discs were used, there might be some pretty cool memos and whatnot. Really, Dayton used whatnot?
He said whatnot.
Pertaining to, for example, he used whatnot, the early development of Star Trek The Next Generation. We could be talking about stuff that has yet to be chronicled in any sort of making-of book or documentary. That alone might make the whole effort worth the trouble of retrieving data from all those disks. Or data. You could go either way. No, it's actually data. What else might there be? Early drafts of an outline or chapters from The God Thing, the Star Trek novel Mr. Roddenberry was supposedly writing way back when, but for which nothing has seen the light of day beyond a very small circle of people? If you don't think I'd love to get a call one day from somebody wanting to hire me to take all of those notes and make an attempt at finishing it, you're insane. Part of me is hoping there might be a draft of a never completed and never dispatched reply to a fan letter I wrote him in 1977. But I'm not holding my breath.
That's awesome.
How about this? What if there's a contract he was drafting to put a hit on George Lucas? Oh, relax, I'm kidding. What if there's a half-completed Star Trek script in there somewhere, focusing on the legendary Garth of Izar in the Battle of Axanar? Wait, who am I kidding? Who would watch that? I'd love to think there might notes and other stuff pertaining to ideas for new television shows he may have been trying to develop. We all know he attempted to do just that in the 1970s before his return to Star Trek, and I admit to having a soft spot for some of those efforts, flawed though they may have been. Careful, Dayton, now you're saying Gene was flawed. You're not a real fan. And let's not forget that a couple of series actually were developed from his initial concepts, like Earth Final Concept and Andromeda. Personally, I've always wondered if one of the early ideas he was thinking about dusting off might be a new take on Assignment Earth, the series he had devised in 1968 before making it a Star Trek episode. A new version of that without Star Trek connection is something I've always been surprised has never happened. Lastly, anybody want to take bets whether they find a stash of his favorite Kirk Spock / fanfic? Come on, that'd be pretty damn epic. Am I right?
Wouldn't that be epic? That would be so epic.
Hello? Come on, Roddenberry Estate. Don't keep us waiting like this.
I know, dude.
Right on. Thank you, Dayton.
Thank you, Dayton. Oh my God, that was hilarious. Oh, I miss him. I do miss him. And thank you, as always, for doing this for the show and also for the fans. You can always read Dayton's blogs at The Fog of Ward. Like it's DaytonWard.com, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he has a new book coming out, like we said, in July, which is a tour guide of Vulcan, which I think
he's got lots of books coming out this year. I think like 3 or 4 of them. So,
and it's my understanding he will be at Star Trek Las Vegas in August. So hopefully we'll be able to work something out there.
And if you have a question for Dayton, email us at hosts@gntshow.com. We will forward it to him, and at his leisure,
because he has been busy.
Yes, he has. Slinging words ain't easy. So we'll forward it to him, and he'll respond at his leisure, and we'll read it out on the show. Thank you.
Sweet. Well, we're kind of getting towards the end of our day. Mike, do we have any announcements?
Well, do we want to briefly do the 50 for 50?
Yes, we do need to do that, don't we?
Also have
Mike's all
email.
proud that I said that right now.
He is.
Yes.
What's your favorite episode? GNT shows 50 for 50.
All right, so I completely forgot. I'm sorry, you guys.
See? I know. You guys are recording this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I know.
A little
I
late
am.
to be asking, but
yeah, a little late, but yeah, no, we both are. We're good. We started before we went live, so yes.
It's not like it's not worth asking with this show.
Oh, thank you. and our production manager just came in and gave us next week's 50 for 50 as well. Ooh, next week's going to be fun. Okay. So this week we have 2 episodes. Mike, which episodes are we discussing today?
Enterprise Season 3, Episode 18, Azati Prime, and TNG's Season 5, Episode 7, Unification Part 1.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with Unification Part 1.
Okay.
Which one?
Huh?
Don't we want to do them in backward order?
Do we want to do them in backward order? Yeah, we should.
Yes.
Okay.
Now on with the countdown.
All right. So, just by you.
Goddamn dog dying coming out of an upbeat record. Sorry.
Azati Prime. This is probably one of the... Huh?
Enterprise.
Yes. Enterprise, Yay. Which I love. The teleplay is done by Manny Koto, which, again, one of those, when Manny came on, it was one of those things where he ended up being kind of like this savior of Star Trek Enterprise. His influence to the show was definitely a huge, huge thing, and
yes.
Very, very well received, and I think a lot of people really started to love the show when he became involved. And unfortunately, he was also quite involved with the how to take it all kind of. They were still hoping for a 5th season, and it never happened. But all right, so this is already after the Xindi war, or not the Xindi weapon has already been used. They've been through the God, my brain is just not working today. They've already been through the thing. They're working. They're on Degra's ship. Degra is one of the Zindi, and now they are talking about the super weapon already kind of being complete. Now there's a rush against time, and this is all part of that temporal Cold War arc as well, where every time Daniel appears, you just kind of want to go no. But it was an action. I mean, this was a
in this episode we had Archer.
A key piece. That's the way I want to put it. It's a key episode in this.
It's
arc.
a linchpin episode
That's
in season 3.
Thank you very much, Nick, for finding the word for me.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
This is
Go ahead.
Yeah, what this basically boils down to is the Enterprise has discovered the Zindi weapon, and they're going to launch a suicide mission to destroy it. But Archer gets captured, and he's got to convince the Zindi leaders that humanity's not a threat. And while this is going on, the Enterprise is pummeled by the Zindi.
Is that it?
Yeah. Well, the reason why they're pummeled, they sneak into the system. They hide behind a moon. The moon has a monitoring station, which they destroy. In order to keep themselves hidden.
That's right.
It was an unprovoked attack, which kind of like was a big no-no. And then Archer, he hops into one of the Zindi insectoid shuttles and he flies down into the gas giant ends up finding the ship and makes it back. It wasn't Archer that went down the first time. It was
Mayweather.
It was Mayweather and Tucker.
And Trip.
Yeah.
And Trip. They go
some
down the first
very
time.
funny stuff with trying to learn how to fly the ship.
Yeah. Then Archer goes, and that's when he ends up getting captured. Which, he kind of sacrifices himself. And then T'Pol, decides to try. She wants to follow him, to kind of negotiate for him. It's like, okay, wouldn't it have made a little bit more sense to try to sure they were going for the element of surprise, but I don't know. It seemed like they probably should have gone with the negotiation first. It's just, in this episode, they were doing all the wrong things. And I can see how their decisions in this kind of led to some of the more of the rules that we end up seeing later on.
One of the things that I really wanted to touch on when we talked about this episode is that and I realize I'm probably one of the very few people, but one of my favorite pieces of Enterprise as a series comes out in this episode, and that is that linchpin back to what it is about Star Trek that I adore. And as much as Daniels used to piss me off, he does something in this episode that kind of seals it up for me. And a lot of people really, really hate the Enterprise, Jay, just because it's been on screen for all of about like 5 seconds or whatever. But I love that damn ship. I think it's beautiful. But I think
You and I agree to disagree on that one.
I love the ship.
It's hideous.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I think it's so
I'm
beautiful.
sorry, Mr. Drexler.
I
Do you
love
know how hard it was to tell Doug
I love
Drexler,
it.
who designed it, that I didn't like it? Do you know how hard that was? Because that man
hears
could
it all
kick
the
my
time.
ass. He could kick my ass in a heartbeat.
I know.
He's
really
a fit man.
Yeah, he is.
He's a very fit man. He makes Jack LaLanne look like me.
Dorothy, you're a lucky woman. I'm just telling you. So
Look at that. That's hideous.
no, it's beautiful. I love the Enterprise, Jay.
No.
But what I like about it the most was the scene that comes out of it when you realize that in the future, even though you kind of already understood that there was already people in the future that had Zindi blood in them, right? This is the real linchpin. This is when you find out that there is a very real reason why the Federation needs to make, or not even the Federation, but the coalition didn't even.
Yeah.
Why Earth needs to make friends with the Zindi, and that the fact is that the Federation, it moves on, it grew, it became a part of, and the Zindi become a part of, and a very real part of that new identity of what the Federation becomes. And that's when you start, again, one of the biggest criticisms that I always had about Enterprise was the fact that, I really wanted the story to be about the hardships of what it was like for Earth and its new friends in Tellar and Andoria and Vulcan to find those pieces in common to create something so magical as the Federation. But everybody knows it's not easy to get through. This was one of those scenes where I kind of went, oh man, that's fucking awesome. That's awesome. The idea that even Archer couldn't even fathom how amazing the Federation was going to be until he got that kind of a hint from Daniels by looking at how the Enterprise J and its multiracial crew or multi-species crew would be important to the survival.
Yeah, and that scene, that little scene, also very quickly and succinctly shows Archer that the nature of the threat that the sphere builders truly offers.
Yeah.
Which is an important thing in his negotiations with the Xindi, because up to this point they kind of almost worship these people, not realizing what damage they were really doing to their space.
Right.
So again, there was just so much going on in this episode, and especially in that one little scene in the far, far future.
Well, and something else about this episode, and this goes for Enterprise as a whole, but this is some of the best looking Trek out there.
Mm-hmm.
Enterprise was amazing.
Wasn't it a beautiful show?
Yeah.
It really
And at this point, they were in HD, weren't they?
Yeah. 3 and 4, I think,
Yeah.
were done in HD, although it was all done in widescreen.
Yeah, which I love. I absolutely love.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Oh, and congrats to our voters, because Azadi Prime is just one of those episodes that I think is, like Nick said, it's a great linchpin episode. It's a great example of what Enterprise could do and was doing to really move forward with an interesting story, and I loved it.
As I had mentioned, it also kind of sets up why some rules are what they are in the future.
Yes.
Because Archer does a lot of things in this, Archer and the crew, that would be apprehensible in later Treks.
Did you say apprehensible?
Did I use the word
reprehensible?
Reprehensible.
Reprehensible.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the
brain is quarter brain
there's a
cell
lot
here.
of there's a lot of non-hero stuff that goes on in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from Archer, where they destroy that facility and they kill like 3 or 4 innocent people because they don't want to be detected, and then of course the other side of it, which is the thing that shocked the hell out of me. I remember watching this with my husband when it was on first run, and we both sort of looked at each other and said, "Did they just do that?" Where 3 or 4 people fly out of a hole in the top of the ship.
Yes.
And obviously they've died.
Yes.
And this is that's amazing.
That was the first time
I
you
was
really
brought
see
up on
it, yeah.
TOS where, you died and then they came back the next week. That's not what happened here.
Mm-hmm.
There were real life consequences, and they were horrible consequences
Yes.
too. Nobody had a chance. There was no hero moment here. You were just 1 second you were there, the next second you were gone.
Now,
I believe one of those characters was Kipley Brown.
Yes, it was. Now, one thing, I know Archer gets a lot of hate, but I think having Archer be, especially in the aftermath of the Xindi attack and the rage that's fueling him for Season 3, first of all, I think it's really important because it does go over into Season 4 where we see the change in him, where by the end of Season 4, the coalition of planets, and then he's going to be the first president of the Federation and all of that. You wouldn't have that without Season 3. But it's also important to show, Terry and I can disagree. She sees the bright Star Trek future for humanity, and I don't. I see us just being humans. I think Archer's arc through Season 3 is important to show in a very micro way how that kind of progression happened. So while there's a lot of Archer hate, people need to put it in context. If you watched, say, in order, Enterprise, Star Trek, the animated series, Next
You can't get to
Generation.
a Picard without Archer.
Exactly. and he that but and I'm sorry, if look at Picard in First Contact.
Yeah.
That anger, you as a human, you need that anger to fuel you sometimes. You really do. And if Archer didn't have that reaction to what the Xindi did, he wouldn't be human.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But that's what I like about Enterprise so much, and I really do. I mourn the loss of what could have been a more incredible show, as the idea of it, of that stepping stone of how do you get from being alone and into how do you move forward into a world or a wider galaxy, and how does a species with all of the frailties that it has deal with other species that have their own problems, right? I mean, Tellarites are stubborn bastards, and how do and Vulcans are, just way beyond
arrogant,
and Andorians are pistols. How do and that's what I loved about the show. And this was a nice touchstone episode where you kind of get to see those mistakes. And like Jespa was saying, is it shocked the hell out of us too when I saw those bodies actually leaving and being blown into space. You're like, holy crap, they actually did it. The thing I used to piss me off about DS9, about not showing the ramifications of war, they did in this episode. So it was fantastic.
If y'all, when you start Unification, just give me a second. I have to do something for work. Terry, you'll see it pop up on your screen in a minute.
Okay.
Because Terry's she's liked our Facebook page, and that's why she knows how busy I've been.
I actually get his post in my timeline on Facebook when I see what's going on. Yay! Let's move on to Unification Part 1. Unification. We've already discussed Unification Part 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And Unification Part 1 was the TNG episode where we first get to, at the very end of the episode, really, that all is that Ambassador Spock went missing. And
there's suspicion that he defected.
And the idea of it was so shocking, right? Yeah. The idea of what the heck it's so as a viewer, you always
he was spotted on Romulus. If people are not sure what we're talking about, defected to where? Well, he was spotted on Romulus.
And so the viewer who knows Spock from already 30 years of Star Trek knows damn well that he didn't defect, but there is something going on. And so you have to find it. And Picard feels the same way, right? Picard, this is one of his heroes as well, because TNG kind of occurs 70 years after the original series. Spock is older now, and his father has just passed.
Mark Leonard was amazing.
Right. So Sarek has passed away, and not only does Picard,
well, he passes away by the end of the episode.
God, that was sad. It was such a great character and such a great.
We do see him at the beginning of the episode when Picard goes to see him to find out what's going on with Spock, and we see that he's really degenerated because of his the disease that he has, which is almost like a form of Vulcan and Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And so he's lucid for a moment, and then he's just off in his own little world, and his logic has failed him, and it's
so sad and frustrating, and you love him so much. Yeah,
exactly. So I thought it was a really great tribute to the character. He did Sarek very well, and I think it added a lot of depth to the Vulcan species as a whole, because it showed that they are a fragile species as well. They do have their diseases, they do have their weaknesses, and when their senses fail them, their logic fails them, it really can get ugly, just like.
Well, and there's two other things going on here. One is Gowron being Klingon-y, and trying to rewrite the history of the Civil War, and basically not saying anything about the Federation helping them. So
Yeah.
Picard kind of gets him to allow a Klingon ship to take he and Data to Romulus, which leads to that hilarious scene where Picard's trying to sleep and Data's just standing there.
Staring at him. And the way
He's not even staring at him. He's
No,
just
yeah.
staring in another direction. It's so funny.
And the way he turns around while still staring at Picard.
Yeah.
That was
Here he is
And
trying to
then
toss and
also-
turn, and he's on that hard bed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Picard being like all blustery with the Klingons. Oh, it's a firm bed. Yes.
A lot of
Meanwhile-
posturing in that one.
Yeah,
Exactly.
a lot.
So funny.
But you've also got where Riker is taking the Enterprise looking for Federation ship that's disappeared,
Right.
and he takes him into that
Junkyard.
Or,
Yeah.
was it no? Well, no. He takes him to the
yeah.
Yeah.
It was a junkyard.
the junkyard.
hmm
So you've got that
Where
mystery.
good
So
ships go to die.
there's like 3 different storylines going on here, and for the Next Generation, you have a rarity. All 3 are pretty compelling.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Really.
It
well
wasn't.
done.
It wasn't like a silly beeline. It was interesting beelines. Yeah, it was fun. Of course, at the very end, you end up with that cliffhanger, the quote unquote, the kind of cliffhanger. It was just a 1-week cliffhanger as opposed to a season-long cliffhanger, where you do get to see Leonard Nimoy make his appearance in Star Trek: The Next Gen, and it was like bum bum bum, Spock's on Romulus. So it was a fun episode. I have to say, I was a little surprised that Unification Part 1 outperformed Unification Part 2, because I would have thought that they would have been reversed. I would have thought that Part 2 would have been higher on our poll than Part 1. But
No, because I think the
was it? Do you think
the
it was
Sela
Sarek's appearance?
storyline.
Yeah.
I think because of how lame the 3 ships to invade Vulcan part
Yeah.
was.
You got a point.
Whereas this was much more of a mystery. I'm sorry to the listeners that my work email is blowing up, but we just
We're
got
getting
an
there.
announcement that base is closed tomorrow, so
Oh, okay.
that's what's going on.
Oh, cool.
So you've got you have a whole lot. It's what happens with a lot of 2-parters.
Yeah.
The first part is a whole lot more mysterious and the setup than the actual payoff.
Yeah,
so
but that's
I think that's what happens here.
I see.
And
Go
the other thing, don't forget, didn't this lead into this? This was came out just before Undiscovered Country. Wasn't this the episode, the 2-parter
It may have
with
been.
Spock? So that you had the whole Khitomer Accords and all of that, which were such a huge part of Undiscovered Country,
Yeah.
which they talk about in this episode.
Right.
So that when you saw Undiscovered Country, you now had the backstory to what Picard was talking about with Spock in an episode that had already aired in the future, but you didn't know what they were talking about in the past. Oh my God, temporal mechanics.
So do you guys want to, Miss Jespa, do you have anything to add? No,
She
may not
probably
hear
hasn't
us.
heard you.
Yeah, she probably didn't hear us.
Her motherboard is being a mother.
Yeah, I know, it really is.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love her.
Well, here's the 2 episodes that we get to talk about next week.
All right, everybody on the edge of your seats. Everybody leaning forward. Write this down.
Number 36. Once again, another Enterprise episode. I'm loving this. I'm loving the fact that so many Enterprise episodes made it into the top 50. I think it's awesome.
Now, do you think this shows the shift that's going on towards Enterprise, or is our audience just
I think it might be a bit of both. I think
Bit of both.
our audience might have. I think our audience may have probably a larger portion of Enterprise fans. I don't know. We'll see.
because it's polls like this? It's a
Enterprise.
context thing. Whereas
Yeah.
if you put it out broader, would
Yeah.
Enterprise have had as many episodes?
Part of me wants to hope that they would, but
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
me too.
I think there has been an evolution of new fans that have come in that went, holy crap, Enterprise was awesome. I think that's a lot
Well-
of the influx of the JJ fans that came in.
I was just
and
going to
went,
say exactly that.
Yeah, that came in and started to watch all the Star Trek episodes and kind of went, oh man, this was awesome. I
Because
can
remember-
see that happening.
Remember when Enterprise came out? No true fan liked it.
I know. We are so
It
good at
was
just
not
eating
track.
each other up. I swear.
It was
I
not
swear,
track.
every
No,
time someone says real fan or true fan, my ulcer just starts flaring. Come on,
but
people.
but seriously, that was the attitude back
Oh, I
then.
know,
Oh, this
I know.
isn't track, blah 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 blah, and you hit exactly the phrase I was going to say. Since JJ's new
Yeah.
track came out,
Yeah.
and new people have been introduced to track, they don't have that preconception,
Right.
so they're watching it, and you're seeing the meter swing on
Right.
Enterprise.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So number 36, Enterprise, season 4, episode
Oh,
21. What?
I said
What?
great
Season 4,
because
episode
it's season
21.
4. Because
Yeah.
season 4 is my favorite season.
Terra Prime.
Oh,
Right
Yep.
on.
strong episode.
Strong episode is right.
Woohoo.
And number 35, Star Trek The Next Generation, season 5, episode 25, The Inner Light.
Oh,
Oh.
do we even need to talk about that, people? We've talked about that
what-
episode ad
I can tell you right
nauseum.
now, what surprises me the most about this is that it was only number
how
35.
low it is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was only number
Yeah.
35.
Well,
so
they're both great
Season-
episodes and almost polar opposites. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
it's going to be fun.
And season 5 of Next Generation is kind of like the apex of Next Generation. They were really firing on some serious cylinders.
They really were. I agree with that. Yeah, Mike, we did have a voicemail. Did you want to play it?
Hey, I need to talk to you. Listener mail.
We received 3. We're going to play 2.
Good luck. God bless us
So
all.
here we go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I was going to say, hey guys, but as an ardent feminist, I tend to cringe at the notion of using a clearly masculine noun to address a plurality that includes women among the group. That said, this is John Allen. Jespa might know me as Coloratura on Trek BBS, or she might not recognize me at all. That's okay. Anyway, I just want to say thank you for keeping a light shining on the wheelings and dealings in the fandom in regards to Axanar and the shenanigans, or perceived shenanigans, taking place there. Like you, I don't want anyone to lose their hard-earned money, but I do understand why these lawsuits are needed. Politics and legalities aside, I am just thrilled to listen to some fellow fans joke and cut up about the things we all love regarding Star Trek. I don't get out of my house often, and by often I mean really not at all, because of responsibilities at home that require me 24/7. What compounds that feeling of loneliness is that my nearest friends are hundreds of miles away, and we can't meet up in a cafe or at home and just yak away about our favorite show. It's not an option. But when I listen to your show, it feels like we're all in the same room, and there's just this level of comfort that finds me. And for just a little while, I get to pretend we're all together and all friends and having fun. That brings immeasurable joy to me. I want you to understand. So thank you to everyone from the bottom of my heart. You make a lonely man feel like he's not so alone, and I look forward to each and every episode of the G&T show as it brightens my day and makes things just a little more tolerable. So, no pressure or everything. Live long and prosper.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's what we've always said.
Okay,
We wanted our
so
show
I
to
see
be
what the
a hang.
problem is.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's what we've always said. We wanted our show to be a hang.
Yeah. All right. And time for the last one.
Okay, so I see what the problem is. Now, I've been listening to you guys for about 36 minutes now, and I went over to the Axanar site to find out what's going on. Okay, and I see, okay, so like there's a bunch of Star Trek names, actors, and things. Garth of Izar is being exploited, and there are definitely certain products that CBS and Paramount have that are being used without permission. And they are being used to raise money and for profit. Because someone has to buy makeup, someone has to buy the tools, the lights, all the expendable things that go into making a film. And you can't tell me that, oh, just because we're not going to make any money on it, that's no good reason. Okay, I don't care if you don't even make a penny. The thing is that someone is profiting from this. And it's not CBS and it's not Paramount. They're the owners. If you did this to me, I'd be pissed. Anyway, so that's it. Go back to your program. I love Star Trek. That's all. Over and out.
Just so you know, it's over or it's out. It's not over and out. But that's the soldier in me.
The
Over
thing is,
means I'm ending this particular transmission. Out means I'm done, and only the person that initiated the original transmission can do the out.
okay, interesting. Well, we're all Star Trek fans. I mean, that's why we do this, is because we love it, and and we are concerned. So, yeah.
Yep.
And there was a third voicemail, but we decided to hold off on it. We thank everyone for taking the time and the effort to send us a voicemail. If you want to send us a voicemail, there's a link on the side of our website. Feel free to use it, and it may appear on a future episode.
Exactly. And if if you do leave us a voicemail, please understand that we may use it on the show. And also, if you just want to send us a private voicemail, it's okay. The voicemail that we decided not to play was very, very personal, and we didn't want to assume that person understood that we may use it on the show. So we didn't want to breach.
Put them on the spot.
Yeah, we didn't want to.
But we did listen to it, sir.
We did listen to it, and we totally feel your pain, and we're hoping that everything works out. So
yes,
that I think is kind of it. Unless we do have some more announcements.
Convention news.
Oh, just briefly, I did want to tell everybody that if you saw a couple of tweets, yes, there has been some concern, or there was some concern about Star Trek Las Vegas. Some of the vendors are a little bit nervous because they have not heard back on their orders for their tables or their booths. I did receive a wonderful reply back from Creation. And I did thank them on Twitter for replying back to me. The fact of the matter is that vendor booths on an individual basis are actually being approved and vetted by CBS first. So there is a delay.
That delay is just in the communication process as well as the evaluation process.
Yes.
And then finally the decision being made. So
correct.
Bear with them. They are working on it.
They are working on it. I did receive an email from Gary at Creation who apologized for the delay in some of those things. But to be honest with you, it really is just a communication thing, where now that the holidays are kind of over and they're in the better situation, they do plan on meeting with CBS and going through that vetting process. So we should be hearing more about that from the vendor side of things pretty soon. Now, on the other side of things, Creation has just released the last set of general admission packages. So the 5-day packages have been released. I do not know if they have sold out. I do not know how many are available, but they are, as of yesterday, were available for sale. So you can head over to Creation Entertainment, and again, that's what they're saying is the last set of general admission packages to Star Trek Las Vegas are for sale at the original price of $250.
Some new guests have been announced as well.
Yeah, Kate Mulgrew.
Yeah.
Some great. Again, it's going to be an amazing show. I'm getting very, very excited with some of the things I'm hearing. So yeah.
Do we want to talk already about G&T on the road, our 3-city stop on the way to Vegas with the live show where we're going to have? No, we don't want to.
Where are we going to stop?
Because I've already the Denny's in Searchlight, Nevada.
So, I was thinking maybe Petrified National Forest.
Ooh,
that's right. And
first, I was afraid I was the Petrified Natural Forest.
No, you weren't.
Meteor Crater, a show from Meteor Crater.
Oh God, it's a big hole.
Echo.
I've been to Meteor Crater enough times now. I don't think the Ferris anomaly is even up for another stop at Meteor Crater.
I got to tell you, I'm really not.
As awesome as it is to have a huge crater,
it's just amazing stopover at Flagstaff Airport last year.
Oh yeah, that was fucked up. Oh my God. So yes, if you haven't heard us before, we actually have a road trip from Albuquerque to Las Vegas, Nevada, not Las Vegas, New Mexico, Las Vegas, Nevada. It takes us about 8 or 9 hours to haul our asses there. And
That's if we don't have to turn around.
Yeah, and it's usually a caravan of at least 2 cars and sometimes 3. And we were thinking we might have 3. We're not sure. And
I think the lovely Rihanna's leaving at like 6 in the morning, though, or 2 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be. And it's
Speaking
crazy
of
as
lovely,
all get
shout
out.
out Lisa Marie.
There you go. So it's going to be a blast. It's an extra day this year. So it's 5 days long instead of 4. It actually starts on Wednesday. First day of the convention is Wednesday. It goes Wednesday through Sunday. We will be leaving on Monday from the Albuquerque area. So we'll probably live tweet as much of it as we can, as long as we have a cell signal. I think we lose a little bit of it through Navajo country, and then we pick it back up in the other side of Arizona.
We have a bunch of new listeners and new fans. And, well, I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this in a snarky way. Thank you, Axanar.
Yeah.
You've actually brought us new fans, which is kind of cool. During the road trip, I do constant tweeting hashtag STLV road trip, letting you know of our shenanigans on the road. But the night 4 or the day or 2 before, we do a live Cooking with G&T.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And last year it was a 2-camera shoot.
Yep.
That Mike set up, and Steve was amazing on his end in England.
Yep.
Where we cook dinner and we talk and we drink, and you get to join us for that. And then there's always our wrap-up show, which still the best one we've had. The wrap-up show was a couple of years ago, eating breakfast, where our waiter stole the show.
Yeah.
Was his name Ramon?
Something like that.
Something like that. And he was, I'm on the radio?
Yeah, he was so sweet. We had a very, very good time, and we plan on doing it again. So that's always, this year it's going to start on August. I think it's actually going to be late July. Is it August 1st? I think we end up starting this shindig. I think it is. And
the Hootenanny?
The Hootenanny, the Cooking with G&T, we plan on doing again this year.
Oh. And you should have seen the refrigerator last year. We actually showed it.
We had many beers.
And Mike discovered Father's...
the root beer.
Dad's root beer.
Dad's root beer.
Yes.
Yeah, Dad's root beer.
Yummy.
All right. So another crazy episode of the G&T show. We will be back next week for episode 222, like room 222. And if you guys don't know what that is, then you're young.
Then yeah, please. Christ.
Karen Valentine. Okay.
Oh my God! Wow. Yes. Hi, I'm Karen Valentine. This is my tight sweater.
Pretty much.
And if you guys are too young and you want to know what we're talking about, Google Room 222. All right. So next episode, 222, and we will see you then. Until then, live long and prosper.
Play timelines, kapla.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Live long and prosper.
Joe Luncher, douchebags.
Music for the G&T show is provided by 5 Year Mission, Enterprise Blues Band, Warp 11, Andrew Allen, and Greth Thor. The G&T show is a BLB production.
Move ahead, walk back to 10. Put a mini skirt on my yo man. Represent the human race. And we make space a happy place. To fully go where no man's gone before. I think I've sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A 0G.